Alright, so here I'm going to do a video on how to install the RSNav camera, backup camera. So I've got the camera here, and I'm actually in the middle of installing the RSNav. I've got it installed for the most part, so I'm going to install the camera at the same time. So this is a Audi S5, so it's the 2014-2015 year, so it's the B8.5. This is the automatic transmission, and I got the camera from RSNav. So camera is built into the door or the trunk handle, so I'm just gonna walk through that and show how to install it and get it replaced. Okay, so we've got the camera here with the door handle, and you've got the cable going off of it, and then the camera comes with this very long cable. This end of it plugs into the camera, and then you've got the other end with the yellow RCA cable. So this side of it has to be connected to the RSNav itself, so you have to run this really long cable across the whole car and to the RSNav unit. So I'm going to start back here with the trunk, and I'm going to show you how to take this apart and how to install it. All right, so the first thing that we're going to have to do is we're going to have to take this liner off. So to do that, we have to start first by right here next to the handle, there's a screw, Phillips. And then if we move over right here where the emergency handle is, right underneath that, there's also another one. So we have to take those out first. Okay, so here we go. There's one. And then this one, I got to get the handle out of the way, so first you have to remove the top off of it. This splits and it's just on clips. And then the handle itself just clips in on the back. So just pull on that. There we go. And then just release the line from the handle itself. There's that. And then we can take the screw out. Okay. Then what is it? These have to come out, so they're just on clips as well. You'll be able to just pull them out. As you can see, it just clips. Another one on this side, same thing. And then these rubber stoppers, those can stay. Those are not going to be in the way. And then we want to take these off because those are in the way. So you've got clips on the back. You can see them right here. Just like that. There's 3 of them down the whole thing. Here we go. And then once that's off, this will just slide off. Oh, actually, there's another one. It's 4. Okay. So there we go. There's one. And then same thing on this side. Okay. And then finally, the only thing that we'll need a pry tool for this. This is a cover on the latch, so we need to take that off. Okay, so with this, I just used a pick, and you gotta go underneath. That's where the clips are. There's 2 clips, and then you pull down. So you see there's 2 spots right here, and the clips, the tabs for it are right here underneath. So That's where you got to pull. And then once we have this, that's pretty much ready to go. So there are clips all the way around the whole perimeter of the liner. So I usually start from the bottom and just go around. Okay, there we go. And then, yeah, that's it. So, okay. I think there's one in the middle too. Yeah. Okay. All right, so now that this is off, we're gonna have to remove the line. So the line here for the emergency release handle is connected on the back, and it's very tight in there and very difficult to get to it. So I'm gonna put my hand in here and I'll show in a second what that looks like. Okay, there we go. So here's the liner, and here's the line right here. It's got this tab on it, or whatever you want to call it, and that goes in right here. It clips into this, so that's why I put my hand in there, and all I did was I pushed on it so that it would release. And once you got that, then that's it. So you can see there's a clip in the middle here too. Otherwise they're all on the outside of the liner. So this is what it looks like. And then we've got the camera, or sorry, yeah, the backup camera right there. So we're gonna have to replace that, and that's located right here underneath. And if I remember correctly, yeah, we're gonna have to remove this metal plate right here. So we've got two 10mm screws. We're gonna take those out. Okay, so I'm gonna take these out. There's one. There's the other. Okay, and I believe this will just slide out. Yeah, so I'm gonna remove this clip first, right here. Okay, so there's two nuts on the back as well. They're difficult to see right now. Where are they? Oh yeah, right here. There's one here, and there's one over there. Those are the two nuts that are holding the actual camera in. So we want to get those out as well. Okay, so I removed the two nuts that were in the back. So now we got this bracket. Now it's loose. I'm gonna try removing this clip. I tried and couldn't get it out. And there's also one here and one here. So getting that out of the way will definitely help. Okay, so I got these two released, and then this one I still couldn't get, but I think we're gonna be okay. I do see on the back that we do have a clip right here below the connector, so I'm gonna have to squeeze that, and then the bracket should come out. Okay, so you can see that here's where the clips were. So I have to squeeze those on both sides to get this bracket to back off a little bit. And we still have the release handle connector connected, so I could get that. disconnected, but the reason why we need this out of the way is because there's clips on the side of the handle, and that's what we need to press on to be able to release this. So first I'm going to get the connector released. Alright, so that was just one clip right here on the side that was holding this. And then now we've got the video cable that needs to be disconnected, which is running right here behind the bracket. So it's this foam covered connector right here, and that goes actually right here. So there's power to it, which is this. So we just got tabs on each side, just press those in, and then so that's power, and then you've got video, which is right here. So same thing, just tab right here, press that and then release it. Actually, first you got to take it out of the bracket. You've got a little plastic bracket right here, and that has to come off of it. I'm gonna have to put the camera down, but yeah, on both sides it's holding the connectors together, so I can't get them to come apart. And there we go. So that's what it looks like. The connector, or the clip that was around it. Okay, and now once I got the clip off, I was able to disconnect it. So here we are. We've got the cable to the camera. We can now feed it back through this bracket. Yeah, I gotta take this clip off of it first. Okay, so I had to lift on one side and then just slide this off of the connector. So now that I've got that, I should be able to, get it through the hole. Okay. Alright, so for the most part, we've got the camera disconnected now. To get the handle released, right here, there's a tab right here, which, let me shine some line on there. Yeah, right here on the side, there's a tab, and there's another one on the other side, so we've got to press both of them at the same time and then push the handle out. The other thing, if you're like Sean here, he's got a plate or a cover on his license plate, so you want to take that off because that's totally in the way of being able to get that camera out. So you might even have to get the plate off of it. So we're gonna do that first. Not. so there we go. I got the camera out. This is the stock one, so you can see right here. That's where the clips are. There's one right here, and then there's one right here. So you got to press those and then push on the handle. It was actually pretty stuck. It wasn't even that the clips were holding it. It was just the rubber was stuck to the trunk itself. So first I actually pushed on it pretty hard so that the rubber lets go, and then I pressed on the tabs to get it out. So here we are. Here's the old one out. Now we're just gonna put the RSNav camera into the car. Okay, so there we are. We've got the RSNav camera with the door handle replaced and put in. So we've got the cable that goes with it there. So now we're gonna have to put this bracket back in, and so we're gonna need to put the cable through the hole, which goes through, yeah, this one, the round one. Okay, so I've got the cable through, so now I can just put this back where it was. And we're going to want to make sure that you've got this cable that's coming off of it in the proper hole, and then you've got the studs going through the holes of the metal bracket. Okay, so I've got the bracket back in its spot. So I'm just gonna put the 2 nuts and the 2 screws that we took off earlier that hold it. Okay, so I've got the bracket back in. Obviously, don't forget to plug in your handle. So that's the little connector with the 2 pins. Okay, and now you've got the 2 connectors that are left over. So those were for the old camera. You're not going to use them for anything, so those will not be connected to anything anymore. So those can just stay. Definitely put some tape around them and then just tape them up. Otherwise we're done with mounting the camera. So now we've got the cable that's running from the camera. We're gonna just run it along the harness that's already here, along all of this, and then down the leg here, and then into the trunk. So we're just gonna run it, do that right now. Okay, so I've got it all routed and then zip tied, just to keep it all nice, clean and tidy and organized. So that's really it. I'm just gonna cut off the ends of the zip ties, and it's really that for just the lid part. Okay, so that's done. So now we can just put the liner back on. And the liner really is going to suck putting it back on. I've done this before, and the part that is going to suck is this handle, emergency handle cable, because you have to take this piece right here, this, and then snap it into here. So it has to go in here, and then at the same time you want to make sure that the end of the line, the little ball that's on it, once you get it clipped, you want to make sure that it goes through the hole right there. So you want it through that hole and then clipped in at the same time, and then you have about 2 inches of room in here to work with. So I remember the first time I did it, it took me about half hour just to get this stupid thing clipped in, and not even talking about putting the liner back in. So yeah, there's really not much hints that you can give, except for, you know, you just got to go at it and just try it. Okay, so actually I do have a little bit of advice on this cable. I remember how I did it last time. So what I did was I took, this is a very thin piece of wire, and then I tied it around the bowl or something like that, and then I fed the wire through the hole, and then I took the liner and once I got it up there, I used this to keep tension on it so that it wouldn't get away from me, because it keeps getting away from me. So you know, I've got one hand essentially inside of here, and then the other pulling on this side. I'm pulling this wire so that I keep tension, and so that it's always in the spot where I need it to be. And then I'm using my other hand to try and clip this in while I'm, you know, holding the other side and the bowl so that it is from the other side. Wow, let me just tell you how much fun this was. It wasn't, but finally got it through, and you can't see it, but the jacket of the line is clipped in. So now that we've got that in, it's just putting the liner back in its place where it was, and then start clipping it back together. So give it a little bit of punch everywhere, just like that. There we go. And just keep doing that until you get all the clips. Okay, so I've got the liner back on. Everything's clipped back in. So now we're just going to start putting all the little pieces back together. So we've got your trim. That's going back in. Just back on clips. Latch cover. That should just slide back in as well. This one. Okay. Okay, so I've got the 2 red connectors connected together. if I mentioned this before, this doesn't get connected to anything because this is a automatic transmission car. So these do not get connected to anything. All you're gonna do is you'll run this up front by RSNav, and these two wires are the ones that will be connected to something. So these, just put tape around them, and then that's it. You don't need to use them. So in this S5, the trunk, essentially the cable is in here now, right, coming from up here. So we want to run it up front. The way that I'm going to do it here is I'm not going to take it completely off because Sean has a compressor for his bags, for his suspension here, and it's all nicely laid out, so I don't want to mess with it. But usually what I would do is I would take this whole side, this carpeting, completely out of the car. So I'm not going to do that, but I will walk you through how to get to it, or how to get it done if you're looking to do that. So let's see, let me just shine the light on here. Okay, so first thing you want to do is to take this out, you want to start with the handle. So this is the seat release handle. The handle has a Torx screw right here. You take the Torx screw out, and then you take the handle off, because that's going to be in the way of the carpet. So we want to start with that. I'm also going to mention this right here. So there's a clip right here. You can see it right here. So you just pull, it's a two-piece clip. So it's got this piece right here. So you pull that out, and then once you do that, this other piece that's in there comes off with it. So there we go. Okay, so that's what that looks like. So take the clip out, and then I'm gonna take the Torx screw and the handle out right now. Okay, so there we go. Got the screw out. That was in here. And so now we just take this, move that aside. Okay, and then, so normally, next step that the next step that you would do is you want to remove the gasket, because the gasket is in the way. So you pull up on it and you keep going all around, probably up to here, and then take all of this off. Take it all off here, and then you take this this black piece, and then you put your hands in underneath it and then pull up on it. So it's got four clips. There's one, two, three, and four clips. And once you take that off, you're going to be able to take the carpeting out, because right here you can see that the piece it would be holding the carpet. So this has to come out, and then underneath here, under the floor, you have a metal piece that holds, that's a hook, and that's for the cargo net. It's got two screws in it, Torx screws. So you want to take the Torx screws out, and then take the metal piece off. And then there's another one back here. So you're going to take both of those out. And once you do that, then this is, for the most part, it's not screwed down anymore. It's just got clips. So if we take this trunk steel, you can kind of see right back here. It's a little difficult, but there's clips back there holding the whole liner. So I'm usually using something like this, it's a panel popper tool. So I go in here and then pry on all of those to get them off. And be careful, because they can break away from the liner. I've actually had that happen on my car. So okay, there's one. There's two. So you can kind of see it in there. This is where the clips are, there and there. And then there's a third one up here, which is a little bit deeper, so that one's gonna be a bit of a pain. Okay, so I was able to get that third one released. You can see it's on top. So we got 3. Now, this is pretty much free for the most part. Yeah. The only thing you've got really holding it is right here. Around the yep. Just gotta work this out. And there you go. So that's pretty much it. Once you get all of this off, then this will just come out. It will completely come out of the trunk and you'll be free. But again, I'm not going to do that because of the setup that's in this car. So I'm going to have to work around it. But the whole idea really is to now take this cable and run it throughout the trunk. There's a bundle of, there's a whole harness of cables in there. So I'm just going to run it along that. You also want to take this into consideration because as the trunk comes down, as this comes down, this arm goes inside. So you want to make sure that you give the cable enough slack so that when you go to close the trunk, you're not, you know, all of a sudden pulling on the cable. So just follow. They have it nicely in there. Just follow what they're doing and just zip tie it to their harness that's, you know, already coming from the trunk. So I'm gonna route this in here throughout the trunk, and I'm gonna try to go into the back seat. So I'm gonna show you where I'm gonna come out on the other side now. Okay, so I'm going to run the video cable for RSNav essentially down underneath this panel, the side panel right here. So when you fold the seat down, actually let me do that right now. Okay, so there we go. I folded it down. So there's here's where that trunk carpeting is. That's all one piece. So you take that out and you'll have access to what's behind this panel. So I'm essentially going to run this cable, the wire over here underneath, and then I'm going to start tucking it in underneath this plastic panel right here, and then I'll go under the seat here. I might take the seat out, and it's pretty easy to take out, just the bottom piece, not the back pieces. And I'm gonna keep doing that and just keep tucking the cable underneath here, and then I'll see how I feel about this piece right here. I might take it out or not, but either way I'm just gonna keep doing that. Just keep tucking the wire underneath here until I get to the front. Okay, so I'm pretty much done with running the cable all the way up front to RSNav. So I just want to show you and walk you through what I did here. So you can see here is where I ran the cable right here up the side of this and up the side of the harness and the cable here. And you can see where it's right there, where the red connector is, and it's just running up front. So let me show you now inside where it is. Okay, so I actually decided to take the seat out because it was going to be easier. So for the seat back here, it's very easy to take out. You do have these child restraint, or for the child seat, these clips. So you just got to take these out. There's 4 of them, and then the child. This clip sits inside of it. So once you take this out, you have to press down on it and then pull out, so that will come out. And once you take those out, it's very easy to take the seat out. You just put your hand in here underneath the seat, and just pull up. There's a clip right here, and there's one right over there as well. So there's only 2 clips. Once you pull up on it, then you just kind of, once it's up in the air, you slide it forward and it'll come out. So no, it's very easy to take out. The only thing is that these clips right here, there's these white clips that sit right there. A lot of times they break. So it really depends on if you get lucky or not. Here I actually got lucky and all of them are still intact, but sometimes they'll break and pretty much they have to be replaced. So they're kind of that kind of design. They're meant to break when they're removed. So yeah, I'll actually post the part number for those because I actually do have that. So so anyway, so once we're here inside the car, if I put the seat down, okay, so right here is where that carpet is, that interior carpeting, and you can see right here is where the wires are. So I ran them behind this carpet right here, and then I just started putting it underneath this plastic piece underneath here. I then fed it right here behind the seat, underneath it, and then right here. And once you close this, I kept running it underneath this this plastic piece. So you can see that it's actually right here, sticking out a little bit. I went behind the seat belt, underneath, kept going, kept going. You can see it right here. So it's sitting right here. And then I kept going with that over here. This door jamb piece that's here, I actually took that out as well. It was kind of a pain trying to tuck it in underneath, and then as I kept doing it, it just kept, you know, I'll be tucking it in over here and then it would come out over here. I'm like, okay, whatever. So I took this piece out, just unclipped it. So all of this is just clips. So you put your hand over here and just pull up on it, and you've got clips. So, you know, clip right there, and there's one right there, there's one right there. So you just do that, and so you can see right here, here's the cable underneath. And actually, let me get this out of the way. Okay, so the cable's right here. So I just tucked it all along where this, there's a harness here running along here. So I just ran it all the way over here and over here. And then same thing with this piece. This actually just, once I took the first one out, this one just came out by itself because it was already partially unclipped. So I removed this, and I'm just going to continue running the cable. It's actually laying right here. So I'm just going to continue running it here, and then I'm just going to run it up with all my actually antenna cables from the RSNav here. I'm just going to run it up here and then shoot it over with the rest of the cables. So I will right now I'm just gonna button this back up. So I'm gonna put the black piece or the plastic pieces back in. I'm gonna put the seat back in, and then just finish off that carpeting in the trunk. So there's nothing special to this. You just work in reverse how you took it off. So that's what I'm gonna do right now. Okay, so I've put everything back together, and I've got my camera cable that's running from the trunk right here. So as I said, I ran it underneath the next to the seat, underneath this panel, which is the passenger's drive door, and I ran it up here. So you can see the cables right here. I ran it up here, all the way here. I still got to zip tie some of these, but it's running up here above the glove box, into here, and then I ran it inside up there, up here, and here's where my cable is. So it's coming out of the dash. It's right sitting right there. So obviously I'm in the process of installing the RSNav. This is a brand new install. So I've already had all of this taken apart. I've already had the glove box down, so it was convenient for me to run the cables where I did. But if you're, installing this camera at a different time, then obviously you don't have to run them up here. If I was doing this after, if I was just installing the camera, I would simply run it just how I did it here in the door jamb next to here, and then simply just run it like underneath the glove box. There's a there's a cover panel here. I would just take that off and then just tuck it in underneath there, and that should be just fine, you know. And then I will just run the same thing across here. And then probably what I would do is I would go underneath this panel, go underneath it, and then obviously you would still have to take this portion of it apart here. So I would just then kind of try to fish it out over here, and then somehow get it through up here. So it may be a bit difficult, but it shouldn't be too bad because it's still there. It's still possible. So if you take the radio off or out, you'll have room back there to put your hand in here and up here, and then just fish it through there. So should be no big deal. But obviously we have this down, so here we are. Okay, so as I said, this is an automatic. So in an automatic, you're going to run the video cable for the camera up here, and then you're going to connect the yellow to one of the yellow cables that's on the RSNav harness. So there's two here. One is labeled DVR CVBS, and then you have another one that's labeled CCD CVBS. So you're going to connect it to the CCD CVBS. The DVR is if you have a dash cam and you want to use it with the RSNav, or you have a front camera, then you would use this DVR cable. But for the backup camera, you're going to use this CCD CVBS. So we're going to connect the two yellows together. If I can make it in. Okay, and there's that. And then the red wire that's coming off of this, we have to connect it to one of these. So there is a bunch of wires from this harness that are just free hanging. They don't have any connectors on them, and for the most part, you're not going to use any of them. You actually don't use any of them. If you're not installing a backup camera, you actually don't touch any of these. And I cannot really think of any other scenario where you're actually going to use them. But there is. So what you're going to do is you're going to take the red wire off of the camera cable, and then you're going to connect it to a wire called cam power. So CAMPWR. You're going to connect the red wire to that. So that's camera power. So that's to power the camera in the trunk. And this is really about the only thing that is not plug and play. So you're going to have to, you know, strip the wires, twist them together, do some maybe solder if you really want to. If you're not, then I would just twist them together, put tape on it, and then zip tie, and that should be fine. All right, so now I've finished the RSNav install. I've got the camera, you know, already wired into this. And one last thing that we want to do at this point. So this is a video for if you've got an automatic transmission and an aftermarket camera. So in this case, we've got the RSNav camera. So we've had it installed, everything's wired up. So at this point, we want to go to the settings, the car settings, and then you want to go to reverse view, and then you want to select AHD camera CAN bus. So you want to select that option, and that's about it. Now that's assuming that you've got an RSNav camera, which is going to be that first option, AHD camera. If you have some kind of other camera like CVBS or, you know, anything else, then you want to essentially go through these settings and see which one is working for you. But in this case, it's the AHD. Now there is one more setting for the cameras, and that is in the system factory settings 1314. Okay, and then let me see, it is somewhere in here. Yep. So if you go into Android settings, you have reversing camera model, and this is the frequency that the camera uses. So there's two options. There's 720p 25 hertz and 720p 30 hertz. This is something that is another option if you're having trouble. But for the RSNav camera, is simply 720p 25 hertz. If you've got another camera, you can come in here and change that. If you've got a aftermarket camera that you didn't get at RSNav, and you're having issues, it's not working, then this is one other option to change. So if you're having, once you make the setting changes in here, you set it to HD camera, go back out, and that should be it. Once you put it in reverse, it should work and should be no issues.